Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi. This time I'm gonna keep going with the stamping project that we did last time. Okay, in this live noding, I'll continue on by we're gonna have a look at how we could use a multiple brush. So last time, let me summarize real quick. So last time I was talking about um, procedural stamping using Blender Dynamic Paint. So we basically create a canvas and then we procedurally animate and randomly place the brush uh, procedurally using animation nodes. So but so far we only like we are randomizing the position, the scale. We didn't randomize the rotations, but that's for you to try. We randomize the color of the brush, and then we learn how to bake out uh, stamped art as pixel. Okay, that's what we learned so far. I want to point out something that last time I was trying to show you how we could use the vertex color inside Blender using Blender internal renderer, and it didn't work last time because we apparently we need to apply the subsurf. So if I hit apply and then now we render it out, so it's working. So the color per vertex is working for Blender internal. So yeah, that's something you need to know. That's important. And today we're gonna have a look at how we could use text object in Blender as source mesh, and then sourcing different shapes, and how we can create like a multiple instance of stamp instead of just a single stamp object like that. Okay, so let's get started. So what I did earlier was I was renaming this mesh as a brush. So this is a brush number 1, and this is the snail mesh that I imported earlier. In order to have, like I said earlier, like I showed you before, we could actually, let's say I'm creating like a torus here. If we want to use this mesh as our brush, we don't need to recreate the dynamic paint setup for that object. All we need to do is just select the brush and then go to under the what is this, the object data mesh, and then select the torus, and by doing that we have the torus already. That should be working as a stamp. Let me check. We might need to reset the rotations and playback. So yeah, it is working. The scale, there's a scale issue that makes the pixel stamping is not perfect, but we could scale the brushes, or we could also go to the brush and then turn on the mesh volume and proximity. So by doing that, we can paint using the inside volume of the mesh, I think. Let me reduce the paint distance, and then yes, so you can see the result right there. So we kind of have like a fall off. Maybe my brush is too small. I'll increase it slightly. So we have now the donut stamping. So that's really cool effect. In fact, if you bake this out, we're gonna get like a really nice full donut shape instead of pixelated low resolution donut like that. So what else? So we don't have the loop yet. We're not having the loop. We have all these node tree connected. It looks complex, but not really. It's just a single, like it doesn't have any kind of looping. So we could oh yeah, we could actually use text as well. I haven't shown you this. With the text object, we cannot just use the text object as brush, so it doesn't have that option for dynamic paint. Same thing with meta ball. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to use meta ball as dynamic paint. Otherwise, it could create like interesting effect. There might be a way around this, but we're not gonna check on that. Just gonna keep it simple. So with the text, I'm gonna extrude it now. Let's see, extrude it. So it has a little bit of volume. So I'm gonna duplicate it a few times. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just gonna type BS and animation nodes. Okay, BS. I'm just gonna type Blender animation nodes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And maybe one more. Sushi. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can just use this as a stamp. Let's have a look. I believe there's a two-way to approach this, like to create 4 different brushes and then stamp it, or maybe just play with the mesh. Okay, maybe just do this first. Okay, I'm gonna group, select these 4 objects and then create object list. Create object list. Okay, so this node right here, and then I will tap U, remove unlinked input, so I get rid of all the inputs, and then now I get from the selections 1, 2, 3, 4 Sushi Blender animation nodes. And then with the list, really we could just use the get list element, and I'm gonna use a random range, actually random number. So here you're gonna see like a magic real soon. So first of all, I'm gonna put the list into get list element, and then I'm gonna use this handy copy object data. So this is gonna be the data, and then the output is gonna be that object right there, the brush. I try to keep the brush because we already have all the setup, and we don't want to lose that ability to change the brush color every frame, all these kind of features that we already built previously. So this is the brush object, and then we're gonna source it, object input, and let's grab the brush. So you will see here, okay, instead of changing the mesh data manually from here, we're gonna do it inside animation nodes. So that's gonna be the brush goes in, and then that's the from, and we just need to plug this into the object transform, which is that guy. Alright, now We check it out, nothing seems to be happening. That's because these guys are still they're not mesh, they're just text. So I'm gonna smooth it, remesh and smooth. Remesh and smooth. Sorry, I have to do it manually. Okay, one more. Remesh and smooth. Okay, that seems to be alright. Looks pretty good. Just keep it simple like that, and we turn them into a mesh object. 1, 2, 3, 4. Convert to mesh. 1. So they are all mesh now, and I believe. Okay, you see, it's it's already working. So our text objects is become our stamp object. So any kind of object any kind of mesh you can use as stamper. So we tried torus, we tried icosphere. You can use sphere, cone, the monkey, cube. It's really all up to your imagination. You can actually have more right here. Generator, script node. What else? What do we have? Parametric spring, Fibonacci sphere. Wow. Maybe we can have like a scripted node 2, script node 2, and then we have geodesic. There's a geodesic grid. I wonder what's geodesic type of geodesic. Have a look. Yeah, vertices, edges, faces. Okay, that's the geodesic, and that's just another example. We have all kind of generator right here inside SphereChalk. Yeah, you can use this, anything, any mesh you can use as stamp. Oops. And as you can see at the moment, it's just doing stamping of animations. If we change the index, we get the nose, and then what's the first one? Sushi. Second one, blender. Yeah, let's have a look. Blender stamping. Very nice, right? I think that's super nice. It's only stamping one time per frame. We could use random number like that. So here the max gonna be the length of this guy. So list length, get list length, that, get plug this to that, and the seed can comes from the frame. So blender, and this number should go into index. Blender animation nodes, blah blah blah, and we can definitely render this out, and it's gonna look just as we plan it. So that's how you do text stamping. So you can of course not just the text, you can add this guy into it, and it's gonna work. It's just mesh polygon, any polygon mesh, it will work as a stamp. In fact, if you want to try something that's interesting, if you have this object and then you give a material and a texture, material and then a texture, it will actually stamp the textures. And then if you have like a alpha, it's gonna stamp it. So that might also be what you want. You can, for example, random stamping the emoji, just like the other day. That's for you to try. So multi-stamping text objects as source mesh. Now, what if we want like multiple stamps? So this is our brush object. Yes, this is a brush object. So we can see. How do we do multiple stamps? All right. I will turn this our brush objects into icosphere just for simplicity. So I'm gonna get rid of this guy, remove unlink, and get from selection. So back to just a single icosphere stamping. Gonna save it again just in case. So yeah, we got all this stuff happening right now. From, let's see, from the very last nodes, we have this node is controlling the stamping color, and okay, this is the color picker. This is the actual object transform. So let's tidy up a little bit. L. Okay, let's see, coloring. This guy we don't need. That's the object output. Tidy up a little bit. Okay, still working, good. Let's color. Put this inside a frame. Join in new frame. This for the color. What else? We don't have anything plugged into this guy. This is for the random position factor or wiggle. Just for the scaling. Okay, so we simplify everything. This is for location. Let's get it to scale. Put it, and that's for the X and Y position. Here we have the brush and everything. That's for the mesh. This is the mesh data, so we can simply plug that in to the color actually. So now it's a lot clearer. Create object list. Create object list is the source. There's a frame number. That's the brush. That's the source brush. So that's an important one. Gonna frame it. This guy is gonna be our source. So if we have like a object instancer, we're gonna plug it into there, so everything's gonna take care of itself, like give it a color, position, and scaling. And that object list is gonna come from a list of objects. Alright, save it again. Sometimes it's important to tidy up things like that. Let's delete the donut. We have this snail. Make it very big. Just put it there. Blender sushi. Okay, so we're gonna create these duplicates for the brush. So we're not gonna create a new brush. As you can see, this is still, we only have like a single canvas and then a single brush. Now we're gonna generate like a multiple brush using object instancer. So this is it. This is, I mean, for this lesson, this is the important part. Object instancer. By default, it's nada. We're gonna grab the brush objects and we're gonna copy the full objects and create deep copy. We don't know how many brush yet. Maybe 5. It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, just leave it at 5 or 3 for now. 3. Okay. And the next thing to do we do is create a loop node. Tap W, loop through objects. Now we're gonna have like a looping happening. The object is the instance. Okay, 3 objects in here, and for each object we're gonna loop it, and we're gonna do everything here. So everything that we did for the brush earlier, we're gonna do it for each object's instance of the brush. So all we need to do, I believe we just need to plug this in to that guy. And currently the position is being controlled by the frame. And this random number is controlling that guy, Location. I try to think a little bit. Locations. We want to randomize the locations of our brush. So at the moment we already have the 3 brushes here, but they are on the same position because we didn't randomize the seed. The seed itself at this moment is controlled by the frame, and it's changing the seed. Each frame calculations, we now gonna add the index into calculation. So just math integer flows blah blah blah. So this, see, all 3 guys plug into there. Just gonna add math here. Math. Add index. So by doing that, we really make like variations on the position as well as scaling. So it's 3 objects and they're all stamping. Good. So it's working just like I planned it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each frame is gonna generate. Each frame is stamping using this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one is the original? Oh, this guy is the original. So we actually have the original stamp object right there. Maybe we can just hide it. 2, 3. So see, it's funny. The funny thing is that guy is still hanging there, so just put it somewhere else. So 3 stamp objects, each with random color. Now it should be a lot faster to stamp. We can, instead of random, we can probably use wiggle, I think. So here, locations, random number, delete that. Let's put that in. Use a wiggle, vector wiggle, and then separate the wiggle, separate viewers, separate vector. Just grab that. You just need the X and the Y. The C is gonna be randomized by the index, and then the evolutions is gonna be the frame. The speed can be different for each object, but we're just gonna leave it. See what we got. So 3. Oh, okay. Okay, the color is different for each generations. Speed, make it 10 or 5. So it's kind of like 3 different worms. And let's increase the amplitude to 10. 3 different worms, random walk. See, at the moment we are really modifying the previous setup. Sometimes even sometimes when you start from scratch, and then if you think ahead from the beginning, it's kind of more like a linear. Everything is pretty straightforward. You keep adding more and more. That's why it's what I say. It's like similar to live coding, where you start with nothing from scratch, and then you're starting to add one picture. Or if you're live coding for music, you add like the beat, and then you add the bass, and then the melody, and keep adding stuff. That's why it's called live coding. Same thing with live noding. Probably it's a good idea to start from scratch, but here we are modifying what we got earlier. Slightly more. It's already complex because we have like 1, 2, 3 different objects, and then each one of them is changing color per frame. We could really simplify that, like we could have just a single value color, for example, or one color for each brushes. Maybe we don't really need to change the scale each time, so make it 0.2. Now it's much simpler. Hey, wait a minute. Okay, maybe scale 1. Yeah, scale 1 is still too big. 0.6. 0.6 is good. And then now they're wiggling. How many? The good part about this setup is we can have like I'm increasing the number of brush now, and we have like 6. Let's have like 10. And then let's slow down the wiggle. Speed 5, maybe speed 2. But it's calculating. So this is quite interesting already. I think we can bake this out. Normally the process is the good process is to bake out the animations and then bake the dynamic paint, and then you're done. It's kind of like final result. But since this is like a live noding and I want to show you the result without having to bake, I'm just gonna continue on. Let's see if I turn on the shrink speed to 0.1, and with the dynamic output, I'm gonna output the pixel level instead of vertex. I'm gonna output an image sequence. Resolution's 800. Let's bake it. Maybe wait a few seconds. Shouldn't take too long. So at this moment, this is like a same kind of brush, but we have multiple brush. You could use logically you can use like a random text and then use that as the source for the object instances. It's gonna work. Yeah, let's check our result. Blend cache. There should be a cache here somewhere. Maybe it's still generating. 5, 4. Let's see desktop. Sort by desktop rate modified. Blender cache. That's not it. Cache dynamic paint. Cast dynamic paint. %, 16% baked. Weird. Let's create another desktop. Check this guy. Don't see anything. Let's stop this baking. Baking cancelled. There should be something here. Let's see. File, save as AN stamping basics. See, cache dynamic paint. Maybe I need to restart my Mac. Oh, there we go. This guy. So why is it not sorting? Sort by date. Yeah. It's weird. Anyway, that's the thingy. That's the result of our stamping. So obviously it's an icosphere, but yeah. So this we get this kind of result. It's pretty basic now. It's just an icosphere. It's not even rotating, but you could quickly turn it into more complex result if you are if you have like a multiple meshes, for example. That could be interesting to try. Just now I had this idea to use a sphere chop. Sphere chop, new, let's try circle, radius, maybe 3, maybe it's gonna be just triangles, sphere, being a sphere, vertices, polygon, so we have just a single object there, and let's group it, it's gonna be called beta matrix in. Plug that in with the circle. We're gonna randomize the vertices. Have a look. Okay, and then the angle is rotations. How many do we need? Let's see. Range vector in. It's gonna be 0, 0, 0, and then repeat the data. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I forgot something. Line vertices. So that's the duplicates, but we want like a different kind of more different deform each time. So different seed. Let's see, range, map range integer, count 10. I was expecting to see like random triangles here. Vertices. Maybe it's not factorizing. Yeah. Maybe. In that case, don't worry about that. We're just gonna do it manually. Polygon bake. So 1 and 2. 3. So that's 3 objects. Let's center the origin. Set origin to geometry, and then let's extrude each one of these. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we can have just solidify. So just 3 objects, and we have all these chunks. delete the junk, hide sphere chalk, save it. This is just a test whether this is gonna work. Back to animation nodes. Remember we have this create object list and then copy object data nodes. So this is gonna do like a magic. Hopefully it works. Doesn't always work, but test it anyway. So you get it from selections. So we have that happening. One last thing to do is the list index and the random. It's not supposed to come from the frame, it should come from the index. I believe that will do the job. And let's see, index. Let's switch back from paint from image sequence back to vertices. Okay. Now we have 1, 2, 3. So it's stamping using that objects. We are not there. The shape can be changing each time. Let's see if I am missing anything. Why is it jumping? Oh, Firefox. Just leave it. Object list. So I think if I unplug this and put the object list inside iterations, I believe this is gonna do what we need to do. So this object list and from, might need to just grab the object from here, not from there. Object list. So like that, is still not appearing. Get list element, list length. Okay, this should go in there. Okay, so that seems to be working. Good. So let's try actually. I'm kind of curious. With the text, we have this sequence output. Not this guy. Text. I haven't play around with text much. Just randomize. There is characters, and then we could use a text object separate. And then text object output. So here, just using animation nodes, I'm gonna plug in all the lowercase into the text, and then gonna grab text object, and then we have this A to Z, maybe digit. Okay, just use digits, numbers, and then we're gonna extrude it. After we extrude it, we're gonna turn it into separate mesh. Let's get this guy, source it, and then it's gonna output the text objects material. Put the origins to geometry and then update. So we should get all its separate characters. Now hopefully this works if we plug that in and increase the size. Play with the scale. Okay, restart our stamp simulations. So 7, so it's doing that. So it's scaling now. It's animating the scale, which is interesting, and then each of the object instance have a different mesh from the characters. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now, for today. Yeah, so a little bit complex in the near the end, but the basic concept is all there. You know, you start with either starting with a single brush, of course with multiple brushes, with any kind of animations with array of objects, you have a little bit more complexity on top. And we're stamping at the moment, it's just painting. It's kind of using all different brushes. The brush size is animating in size, and then each one of them has different shape of brush. It's pretty complex, you know, how many layers of variations we have there. But the result is you can get like a really interesting artwork out of this. In fact, if I think I still have time, I can show you. Where is it? Where's the MOV I created earlier? View, sort by time. Where's the MOV? Probably put it inside the folder by accident. Yeah, there you go. This guy. Open using VLC. Just open it. Yep, VLC. No, that's not it. This guy. This guy. Okay, Blender to Picasso app. So earlier I was doing this recording using my iPhone. This is actually a screenshot, screen capture from the Picasso app. I experiment a lot with this app. It's basically doing this kind of like neural styling of photo. This app has been around for maybe 3 months or more, and basically with this app you could kind of mix like a photograph with a style of painting, like Picasso kind of style of painting. But here I'm using the style that I generated using Blender. It's kind of abstract, and the way it works is you just give it like a contents. It's like your own portrait or your own drawing, and then you mix it with a style that you created. And then if you wait just like around 5 to 10 minutes for Picasso to generate the result. Soon you're gonna get something like this. So like a kind of like abstract, because we are supplying like more abstract texture. Like this one, I quite like this one actually. I generated this earlier using Blender and animation nodes and dynamic paint, and that's what we got right there. Let me pause. So this actually, if I use like a high resolution image and then use Picasso app, it's you can actually print this out, and it looks fantastic as a like a big canvas size. I haven't tried to print it out. However, I was sent an example before from Picasso while I was experimenting with this app, and the result is really good. It's much better than the Prism app or other kind of neural painting app that's trying to be doing what Picasso is doing. But this is I highly recommend this app. So if you create like a abstract texture using Blender and animation nodes and dynamic paint, the resulting image you can use inside Picasso app, and then you can print it out. So see this photo is just a normal, my photo of this black dog, and then I mix it with a texture here, and then the result is like that. It's really intricate looking image, and you can print it out. So there you go. That's an extra bonus ideas for you to try on. Okay, hopefully you like this video. If you like, you can leave like or give a comment if you have questions. Okay, hopefully this is useful for you. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much for